love me, yeah. The streets ain't never loved me, yeah.
Streets ain't never loved me since my brother died. My mother cried, tears in my eyes bleed red. Ain't no love inside. Streets left me dolly, my phone they left it holy. Dawn was in that passenger side when they tried to phone me.
Yeah, you know the streets ain't never love us.
Yeah. I've been shot, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
I've been stabbed, I've been left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved me.
I've been locked, I got charged for some shit I didn't do, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
Caught a case, went upstate, fuck the Jakes, nigga. Yeah, you know these streets ain't never loved me.
Laying up in the hospital bed in ICU. Hit that button like every 3 hours to get those blues, yeah. Laying in the test of pain, I know shit won't be the same. Sip of my stomach, shit don't stop a thing, I'm still a man, yeah. But who gon' be there when you doing time? Can't get no money, so they dropping down, these niggas bitter. And I hope they get the picture, I'm only getting bigger. The top cat out my litter, yeah. Tell you they love you, but they hate you on the low. They hold you back, how they expect for you to grow. I got locked up, ain't said me nothing, but I'm your nigga. My body numb, I got no feelings for you niggas. I'm from what niggas will shoot you right here in these hallways. If you got trust in that loyalty goes a long way. These size 11s, these pussies can't walk a mile in. They hit my cousin with life and he's still smiling. I've been shot, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
I've been stabbed, I've been left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved me.
I've been locked, I got charged for some shit I didn't do, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
Caught a case, went upstate, fuck the Jakes, nigga. Yeah, you know these streets ain't never loved me. The streets ain't never loved me since my brother died. My mother cried, tears in my eyes bleed red. Ain't no love inside. Streets left me dolly, my foreign they left it holy. Dawn was in that passenger seat when they tried to fold me. Remind me of my gun, that was real shit, this real spit. Rocks I was selling was smacking them, call it Will Smith. I ain't never told and never folded under pressure. Yeah, them Neek was in that ambulance with me, he was on that stretcher. Niggas tried to take my life, I couldn't tell you who. Many men might not make it, I'm here to tell the truth. Me and Jop, that's my brother, you know we moving tight. Brown boys fuck with the family and I'ma get them that. This my testimony, solid, all the rest is phony. Merrick niggas come at the fam and send your best opponent. I was stabbed, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. I know the streets ain't never loved me. He was shot, he was left with a zipper on his stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved us. Gang, Merrick shit, it's how we music, nigga.
Another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything that exists has to coexist within. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me?
Yo, top of the top, the hustle don't stop. You're now rocking with thebest.com. Big Dice the Ruler. Been outside since we was drinking Calvin Coolers. Shout out to my guy GP. I got to shout him out first because he said he listening via a Bluetooth from the job. Shout out to all the people that got to do the Saturdays because sometimes I got to do Saturdays. But shout out to the peoples that it's mandatory to do Saturdays, like the fire department, like the police department, like the medical staff, like the grocery stores, like the gas stations, like the restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. Yo, shout out to them people right there. Everybody give a shout out to them people that got to do it on Saturdays and Sundays when a lot of us are enjoying our weekends. You dig what I'm saying? I got a good one for y'all today. I was watching the game last night and fell asleep. And fell asleep. I was supposed to go live after the game last night. I was watching Dog Soldier and the game and fell my ass right to sleep. But I wanted to talk yesterday. I was going to do this yesterday, but I said I'm going to do it today because a lot of people are under the misconception of the true definition of the movie Sinners. That's right. A lot of y'all are talking about the movie Sinners and don't know what the fuck y'all are even watching because y'all blind, dumb, and dead. I'm gonna take that veil off you right now with this work because I did a show about this. I'm gonna take that veil off you right now with this work because you give somebody something fictional, they run with it. And black people, they said, man, I just wanted to see a black vampire movie. You seen that with motherfucking Wesley Snipes and Blade. If you want to talk about vampire, if you want to see something talking about black people in existence with vampire, you seen that with Eddie Murphy with Vampire in Brooklyn. We're vampire in Brooklyn. So you talk about somebody so infatuated with seeing black people portray themselves as vampires. You know what I'm saying? Shit, remember back in the days, Blackula? Remember the black movie back in the days, Blackula? The big dude running around, looking like a football player with fangs and all that. But you know, I guess that's something that they want to talk about because if my history correctly tells me, when it comes to vampires, there's a lineage and a story behind it. There's a lineage and a story behind it. So if y'all can hear me crystal clear, anybody but a dead body, anybody but a dead body, anybody but a dead body, do me one favor. Y'all know what I need y'all to do. Come on, don't do that. Y'all know what I need y'all to do. You know what I'm saying? Anybody but a dead body. I need y'all to put them dice cubes up in there if I can shout it out to the people that typed in so far. We got 11 people in the building, so we should have at least, no, we got 14 people in the building, but we only got 10 likes. Come on, that ain't cool. Appreciate you, dog. He said everything's smooth on the audio, so let me run back to the top. Angie, baby! He's in the building. My nigga Paco G's, he's in the building. Me and him had a conversation yesterday about this movie, too. He the one that made me kind of say, hold up, I got to do this shit again, because my man missed it. It's my good friend right here. It's my guy. My man missed it when I did the first show, but I'm going to get back into this show. We got GP on the tubers in the building. He said he pulling in, listening from VIA Bluetooth at work. We got Miss Tanja in the building. She said, grandest, blessed day. Big Dice and the Mars in the chat. Dog Soldier. Him in the building. He here. AP, I see you in the building. Oh, East New York. Salute. Salute. Angie, baby, do me a favor. Make sure you drop them links. Make sure you drop Vertical Talk. Shout out to 050. Shout out to Harlem Legend. Shout out to Jai's TV. Shout out to Ziggy Black, the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dog Soldier. Shout out to Hank McCoy. Shout out to Vertical Talk with Frankie Boo and Uncle Nick. It's about to be a wave of grown folks conversations coming through. Y'all see, I got my shit on today. I got my Army Fatigue shirt on, and I got my Army Fatigue Soul Not For Sale hat. Soul not for sale. Ask y'all this question. Is your soul for sale? I want y'all to seriously ask yourself this question because let me explain something to you. There's so many things that you can do that's pertaining to selling your soul. Ladies, you ever sold some pussy? Sold your soul. My niggas out there, you ever sold some drugs? You sold some soul. You sold your soul. The Big 1090, I see you in the building, beloved. Salute. My niggas out there, if you ever shoplifted, sold your soul. If you ever robbed somebody, if you purposely went and capitalized off somebody coming out of a bank and you dug their pocket, you sold your soul. You sold your soul. Okay, so a lot of you people that think y'all got a job, that think y'all safe, if y'all knowingly know something is happening that is against rules and regulations, if you know an employee is being wrongly, unequally picked on and harassed on, and you do nothing about it, and you have some type of power and authority, you have sold your soul. Because it's a bunch of us. What I mean by us is black people that once y'all got to the position where y'all had enough money substantially to take care of yourself and your family and your friends and the close ones in your circumference, y'all said, fuck everybody else. So fuck y'all. Kev, I see you in the building. 1, 2, Freddie, I see you in the building. This is all facts. This is all facts. It's a list of things you did. You know what? If you were selling DVDs, you sold your soul. If you're a bootlegger, you're selling your soul. If you're getting fraudulent identification for people, you're selling your soul. There's a bunch of things you can do to sell your soul, but this story I'm talking about is about sinners. About sinners. That's the name of the movie, right? And they got a dude in there by the name of Sammie Moore. Sammie Moore. But Sammie Moore is about the great legendary guitarist by the name of Robert Johnson. Y'all don't remember when I did the show on Crossroads? Matter of fact, let me take y'all back right quick because I talked about it yesterday, about how Ralph Macchio was working in an old folks' home, somewhat like a prison for old people. They felt as though it was mentally deranged. Pay attention to this. Ralph Macchio was a guitarist himself and was into jazz music and blues, and he happened to bump into someone called Willie Brown. She done went crazy again, y'all. So since she went crazy, this is what we gonna do. Because she done went crazy. She goes crazy. You're one in the case.
You can't play both sides, you niggas gotta choose. Niggas out here being tough until they make the news. Mama said her son ain't hurt nobody. The streets said her son was catching plenty bodies. If you accept these charges, then please hold. In every hood, it was a nigga that was tough, and he still told. Like, what I gotta do to make you niggas rhyme? Like, I'm ready to kill when the kind of minds be cautious. I'm dealing with more sticks than a porcupine. Quill spines, whatever you wanna call them. Yeah, plus my little mama, she a trap queen. Doggy, when she mixed with that Fetty, give him a wop lean. It was a whole lot of cars when there was stimmies round. We going over a year and half you niggas down. All these expensive clothes, like was that smart? Now they uploading their clothes on the Poshmark. Switch, baby, careful with this. I mean, it's bitch sharp. One across, one down the middle, look like a chrome heart. Damn, I'm always outside. I'm like, high from who? Bout to put your car on skates. You think you sliding through? I help build my niggas. This ain't Legos. Protect the fan by any means. I be Diego. Yeah, tiger to you niggas. I'm an animal. It's a jungle where I'm from. What y'all wanna do? You can't play both sides. You niggas gotta choose. Niggas out here being tough until they make the news. Mama said her son ain't hurt nobody. The streets said her son was catching plenty bodies. If you accept these charges, then please hold. In every hood, it was a nigga that was tough, and he still told.
My fault, y'all. Egypt got Down syndrome, so she's on cage time. She's on cage time because my cousins and them be out there riding their motorcycles. She want to act like she want to go chasing because she can't stand a bike going past her. Shout out to Miss Pam, godmother of the Nile Rivers in the building. My bro FTC Vice is here. She said, I'm tuned in, Dice. I'm at work. Shout out to Miss Pam, too. Like I said, shout out to the people that had to work on Saturday. You dig what I'm saying? Miss Tanja said, Big Dice, thank you for shedding light on this because I did a show on this, but when we did the show, the movie Sinners wasn't out. But the movie Crossroads, I spoke to y'all about Ralph Macchio. Remember the nigga from Karate Kid? Okay. If y'all don't remember, I got time today. Y'all made me put on my soul not for sale hat. I got time for that. Fair YouTube usage. Let's check this scene out. Russian Princess, I see you, sis. Let's go. Remember I told you about the movie Crossroads. This is Ralph Macchio, the guy from the Karate Kid that just snuck out this man right here from a mental institution for the elderly. His name is the great legendary Willie Brown in the movie Crossroads. This story right here is about the same concept of the movie Sinners, but they switched the name to a man by the name of, y'all already see it, Sammie Moore, but they're telling the whole same story about Robert Johnson. Now let's what Rob. Shout out to Artist Morrison in the building. We've been bamboozled. The greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world that he didn't exist, y'all. And if y'all pay attention, when God banished the devil from out of heaven, I spoke about this hundreds of 100,000 times, he gave him dominion over hell, which is beneath heaven, which is beneath earth. And he'll come to you. He will come to you in the form that you most desire and want. See, the devil, if you're a woman, he can come to you as a motherfucking handsome and attractive man. If you're a man, he can come to you as the most beautiful and intoxicating, the most attractive woman you ever seen, lustful woman you ever seen in your life, like they did in the movie Sinners when that woman appeared and her eyes turned red. This is the same movie. They ain't doing nothing but remixing the truth about Robert Johnson. Let's get into this work. Pay attention to this scene, y'all. Right now, they're at the crossroads, and if you just heard what he said, yo, go on over there, and I want you to play something, because I got a man I got to see. But look where they at. They're at the fucking crossroads in the middle of the world. That man said, what man you got to see? He said, man, don't ask me no dumbass questions. You know what man I got to see. You talking about the devil, y'all. Asking for a man named Lecter. The man looked at the chick, laughed, said, nigga, he done changed his name. That's what the devil do. Lucifer, Satan, Shaitan, anything he wants. He said, you're about 17. One night on this same crossroad. Pay attention to the story about Robert Johnson. 17, he mysteriously came and handed his guitar over to the devil. And the devil said, you know, once I give this guitar back to you, I now own your soul. See, in this movie right here, the devil used Willie Brown back in the days to be the best guitarist. So he took him all over the world and made him play against people that thought they were the best. Because there were other people that wanted his spot. This movie right here is deep. Willie Brown ain't the only one that wanted popularity and fame. This motherfucker's on YouTube. They want popularity and fame. There's people like myself, before I was even on YouTube, when I was coming up in the street, I wanted popularity and fame. And by any means, even though my family, who was telling me what I was walking into was totally wrong, the devil was telling me that shit was totally right. My grandmother then was talking about, baby, you need to stop. The devil was like, didn't you want them new e-tonics? My grandfather said, I don't know what you're doing out there in the street. And the devil was like, don't you want that new elephant skin motherfucking leather bomber from Delancey Street? My mom's was like, yo, where you get that coat from? I don't know about y'all. My mother knew a lot of my young friends were drug dealers and robbers and thieves. I used to answer my mother with straight lies. Forgive me for telling lies to my mother, but I have. Where you get that coat for? Jimmy bought it for me. You remember that, dog? Where the fuck did you get that $600 leather jacket from, Damon? Jimmy bought it. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all wasn't there for that one. Hey, Phoenix. Y'all was not there for that type of era. When you used to lie to your, where you get them jeans from? Where did you get that Sergio Cincini tracksuit from? I went with Jimmy to pick Simon's Avenue, to Pickens on Simon. He bought one, and because we was going to a party, he said he had some extra money, and I'm his friend, mommy, so he bought me one. After a while, my mother used to be like, this nigga is lying. My mom used to cold slap the shit out of me when she knew I was lying. She had a lie detector the system in her mind for when I was lying. Because I'd be talking to her thinking I'm getting over, she just come out the, wah! I'd be like, yo, what you doing? She said, yo, let me tell you something. I don't know if your mother ever told anybody this, but if she has, put them dice cubes up. My mother said, do you know the thing that I despise the most? A bold-faced liar. My mother said a bold-faced liar is the thing that she despises the most in the world. She said a person that'll just stand right in front of you and lie for no reason. She said that motherfucker deserved to get punched in the fucking mouth. I'm sorry, that's where I get that shit from. I'm sorry. But this show right here, we're going to talk today. Pay attention to the story. And pay attention to how miraculously, after he got through disrespecting the worker right here, the devil. That's how the devil works. You want out, you got to sacrifice something. You see how he looked at Ralph Macchio? Because he knew he was an enthusiast with the guitar shit too. He said, now, if you got something to offer me. Man told him, you didn't give me what, I ain't get what I wanted. Devil told him straight up and down, nigga, but you got what you deserve, motherfucker. See, when you want to skip people, or you want to skip the process of growth, this would come with it. A flawed. It's like buying a cubic zirconia and giving it to your broad and proposing to her, and then she go out with her homegirls one night and they drunk and they be like, yo, bitch, let's go appraise that ring tomorrow. Then when they go to appraise the ring tomorrow, when they on their lunch break and that nigga go, yo, this is a Sammy Davis original, but this ain't no damn diamond. Then that starts problems. That's selling your soul too. Instead of saying, yo, check this out, I ain't got no money to buy no motherfucking diamond ring right now. I'm going to get you a wedding band and I'm going to stack some bread. You go give off a false illusion. Look what I did for you. This is how much I care about you, doodoo head. Then it comes out that shit is motherfucking faking in a pack of annihilators in the middle of the street. What type of sense did that make? The man come to try to get his soul back, and his man told him, what I get if my man went? This nigga say, you get me. The devil told him, I already got you. That's why y'all here, nigga. That's why.
To this U.S.
That nigga told him I can get you there real fucking quick. Shout out to everybody in the building. This song right here has just really been in my head. They fucked me up on TikTok with this song. This shit is my song. It's a soulful Saturday. If y'all feeling this song, let me see the fire emojis. Let's go. I don't know where they get that song from, but that shit is fire. That shit is fire. Shout out to Snow Allegra. But since y'all want to see it and talk about the real depth concept about the movie Sinners, let's get into what the movie Sinners is really about. This man right here by the name of Robert Johnson. This man right here by the name of Robert Johnson, and a lot of people don't know about. We're going to talk about him today, though.
His name is synonymous with blues. His music made him one of the most iconic figures in his genre. He is cemented as a legend. And yet, very little is known about Robert Johnson. 29 songs, 2 verified photographs, and hundreds of unanswered questions. Johnson's life, his story, and his artistry is wrapped in mystery to this day, but his music resonates with millions. However, Johnson wasn't always a brilliant musician. In fact, he was considered to be relatively untalented, even up until his early 20s. Allegedly, he improved rapidly on the guitar. So much so that a legend was born that Johnson sold his soul to the devil so that he could become a master of the guitar. Johnson passed away under mysterious circumstances at 27 years old, giving birth to the infamous 27 Club and adding yet another question mark onto his already confusing story. Robert was born on the 8th of May, 1911, to parents Julia Dodds and Noah Johnson in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. His mother had already given birth to 10 kids with her husband Charles, but Robert was born out of wedlock, illegitimately, and had a father who he most likely never met or spoke to. His stepfather...
Whoa! That's the first strike. His mom's had 10 kids before him, allegedly with her husband, but he's the illegitimate child. That's some deep shit. He's the illegitimate child. That's the first strike against him coming up. He know all his brothers and sisters is not his. Let's get into this work. Appreciate you, GP.
father, Charles, was a reasonably successful landowner, but after getting into a dispute with a lynch mob, he was forced to move to Memphis, and Robert would eventually be sent there to live with him until he was around 8 or 9 years old. At that age, he moved back to Mississippi to live with his mother and her new husband, Dusty Willis. In his teenage years, Robert began to gain an interest in music and dabbled in some different aspects of it. He learned the basics of the guitar from one of his brothers, and he was cited as being a talented harmonica player. We can also assume that he was writing songs and singing during this time. But all of this wasn't very appealing to his new stepfather, who wanted him to work on the plantation fields. This would lead to a conflict between the two, and while he was still a teenager, Robert would try and find his own freedom and independence. This started when he was 19. He married a 16-year-old Virginia Travis on the 17th of February, 1929, but unfortunately, she would die a year later while giving birth. Robert was now a 20-year-old widow with a stepfather he didn't like, a father he never...
Second strike against him. Married a woman. She died while giving birth. Let's get into this work.
Met, and a wife who had just passed away. And lest we forget, he was an African-American man living in the South in the early 20th century. Basically, Robert had an intense childhood, and his adult life wasn't looking very good either. At this stage, all Robert really had was his music. It was around this time that legendary blues icon Son House moved to a town that was near where Robert lived. All of a sudden, a lost and impressionable Robert Johnson was listening to one of the greatest blues artists of his generation perform live every week at the local juke joint. At this point, Robert had some musical ability, but it was mainly at the previously mentioned harmonica, so he wasn't considered talented enough to perform at these establishments, but during the breaks, Johnson would ask if he could play their guitars. In one of the most famous interviews ever given about Robert Johnson, Son House states that he was terrible and that he was often asked to stop playing.
He followed me and Willie around on Saturday night, Willie Brown. And every time we stopped for rest and sit there, little guitar over in the corner or something and go out to catch air, get the guitar and be trying to play and be just noising the people, And the folks would come out and say, why don't some of y'all go in and meet that boy, put that thing down, he's running us crazy.
Johnson may have been in the correct environment to observe the music he wanted to play, but because of his lack of resources and the ridicule he was subjected to when he attempted to perform...
Am I bugging out, y'all? If y'all agree with me, is that a cigarette or is that a motherfucking split? Is that a flip in his mouth or a cigarette? Back to the show.
He was in the wrong environment to learn. This may have been the reason he left. He did remarry in 1931, but that didn't stop him from traveling around the South for about a year. This is a confusing space of time that is responsible for many of the myths revolving around Johnson. Some people speculated that he left to try and find his biological father, while others believed that he was exclusively focusing on improving his craft. But the other theory, and strangely the most popular one, is that Robert Johnson made a deal with the devil. The story goes that Robert Johnson went to a local crossroads with his guitar before midnight. He started playing his songs, and at midnight, the devil appeared. The devil took the guitar and tuned it, played a song, and gave it back to Johnson. This was the transaction, the turning point for Johnson as a musician. He had given up his soul to the devil himself and was a master of guitar. But with this, his soul was doomed to hell, and an untimely demise was in his future. The reason people believe that this is what happened is because of a man named Liddell Johnson, who in 1971 said that this was the way to sell your soul, and that his brother Tommy had actually done this. There was no relation between Tommy and Robert, but that didn't stop people from taking this tale and attaching it to Robert's name. At least that's how the story goes. It's obviously a far-fetched tale, but it shows us how impressive and quick Johnson's improvement must have been. The only way the public were able to justify his talents was with a story that was this insane, which in itself tells us why Robert Johnson was so good. One thing is almost certain. Between the years of 1930 and 1932, something happened that made Johnson go from being considered embarrassingly bad to one of the greatest guitarists of all time. When he finally returned to play for Son House, nobody was telling him to stop. He was so good, when he finished, all our mouths were standing open. Johnson took his new talents and began traveling with fellow artist Johnny Shines, where he improved his craft even further, but he still hadn't recorded anything and his talents were being wasted. It was the mid-1930s and his second wife had passed away. Johnson was determined to record and make a name for himself. He went into a man named H.C. Spears' store, who worked for the ARC record label. Finally, in November of 1936, Johnson was in a studio recording the first of his almost 30 songs. He would continuously return to record until the summer of 1937. He made okay money doing this and had amassed a small but loyal fan base, but Johnson wasn't a household name by any means. His music had some dark undertones. Songs like Me and the Devil Blues, If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day, Hellhound on My Trail, and of course, Crossroad Blues. Dark themes like hell, the devil, and death were prominent in his music, and this did nothing but add fuel to his already dark image. But this was part.
Did y'all pay attention to the names of his songs?
1936, Johnson was in a studio recording the first of his almost 30 songs. He would continuously return to record until the summer of 1937. He made okay money doing this and had amassed a small but loyal fan base, but Johnson wasn't a household name by any means. His music had some dark undertones. Songs like Me and the Devil Blues, If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day, Hellhound on My Trail, and of course, Crossroad Blues.
Pay attention to the names of the songs that were the top sellers. Me and the Devil Blues. If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day. You know, Judgment Day is when it's decided whether you go to heaven or hell. Pay attention to this, y'all. The third one, Hellhound on My Trail. Hellhound on My Trail. Anybody remember with it? You ever heard the word or words hellhound or them hellhounds is chasing me? Have y'all ever heard that? Okay, well, there was a movie called Fences with Denzel Washington. Married for about 20 years, had a son, seemed like their relationship was astray, had a beautiful, supportive woman. He had a brother that had had surgery and had a plate in his brain from something that happened to him at war. Remember I told y'all about them direct blows to your head and how they say direct blows to your head can alter or improve your mind power. We only got 10% of it. It's 100% of mind power. It's 90% that we do not have control over. But pay attention. A hard jar to the brain can pull you right into that realm to have power. Divine, I see you in the building, sis. She said, Shabbat from Shalom, from Chicago to Big Dice Chronicles and Team Garden. Hope everyone is well, warm, safe, and hit that like button. Let's make sure them views match up. That's a fact. But in the movie Fences, Denzel Washington's brother was deemed to be incompetent. They said that he needed, they couldn't force it, but they said because of his injury, that it would be better if he had like a live-in mate, someone that, a caretaker. There was a scene where he was standing in the street and he had his horn because he said when he had surgery, he passed away. And he said he got to have a conversation with the Arch Saint Michael. He used to see the dog. He said the hellhounds were in the streets. Remember, he used to say, get out of here. Get away from me. Remember, he spoke to Denzel Washington's wife about he's seen everybody named in the book that allegedly was going to pass away. And he said, Mary, I ain't see your name. I ain't see your name, but I saw his. But pay attention to the names of the songs that Mr. Robert Johnson was known for. Me and the Devil Blues, If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day, Hellhound on My Trail, Crossroad Blues. Because that hellhound is a hound of the devil, they say.
Dark themes like hell, the devil, and death were prominent in his music, and this did nothing but add fuel to his already dark image. But this was par for the course for blues. These weren't new thematic explorations, they were cemented attributes of the genre, but people emphasized Johnson's dark lyrics to add to the narrative, even though there were hundreds of similar acts doing the same thing. Regardless, the recordings were done, and unfortunately, that would be Johnson's entire discography, because a year later, he would die.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360.
On the 16th of August, 1938, Robert Johnson, age 27, was found dead. Very little is known about the specifics of his untimely demise. In fact, the actual date he died wasn't discovered for another 30 years when music journalist Gail Dean Wardlow found his death certificate. It didn't have any cause of death, so we weren't given any answers in that department, but of course, there are theories. The first theory, which is the most plausible and the most boring, is that Robert died from untreated syphilis that he had inherited from one of his parents. It was a common problem for low-income families at the time, and it's entirely possible that Johnson was a victim of this. But if you haven't figured it out yet, nothing is ever black and white with Robert Johnson. And as you probably expected, there is a second.
And that's fucked up, because if you think about that, they said allegedly he might have passed away for untreated syphilis that was passed on to him genetically from his parents. So you got to think about the time when he was coming up and to think about the time when his parents was coming up. You got to think about the time with the Tuskegee Airmen when they purposely injected syphilis into all those black men. Whoa, this shit is crazy.
Theory that Johnson was murdered. Johnson had been performing for a few weeks at a country dance that was only 15 miles away from where he was found. Allegedly, he was flirting with a married woman at these dances. Her husband gave Robert a drink, but Sonny Boy Williamson, a fellow musician and friend of Johnson, slapped the drink out of his hand and told him that it was dangerous to accept drinks from unknown people. Johnson was angry at Williamson for doing this, and he accepted a second drink from the husband, which he did consume. Williamson wrote an account about this, and he was a well-respected figure of the blues community who had a confirmed association with Johnson, so it is entirely possible that he was telling the truth. Whether Johnson was actually poisoned is a different story altogether. However, Robert Mac McCormick, a notable blues researcher, claimed that he tracked down the man who killed Johnson and actually got a confession from him. He declined to reveal the name or release the confession, which seems like a strange thing to do. If you were a blues researcher and found out who killed one of the genre's biggest icons, it's very strange that you wouldn't release that information. But these accounts and statements have made this second theory more believable, and a lot of people do believe it to be true. Either way, the end result was the same. Johnson had passed at the young age of 27, with very few answers as to what happened, concluding his already insane life with an ending that was incredibly unfortunate and untimely, but morbidly fitting for such a mysterious and interesting character. Some of his friends, associates, and peers wouldn't find out about his death for a long time, not until they looked for him and realized through word of mouth that he was gone. It seemed as if Johnson would fade into obscurity. For 2 decades after his death, he remained a relatively unknown figure in the music world, but in 1961, Columbia Records released the album King of the Delta Blues Singers, a compilation of Johnson's work that would achieve immense success and bring his music to a wider audience. It was widely considered to be one of the greatest albums of all time, and it solidified Johnson as a blues legend. He was finally recognized, and while he wasn't able to enjoy the fruits of his labor, the world could enjoy his work and admire his greatness. His dream of becoming one of the greatest blues artists of all time was finally realized. Robert Johnson probably didn't sell his soul to the devil, but he did give his soul to blues. It could be argued that what Johnson managed to do in his short life was one of the greatest feats ever achieved by a musician. His short discography changed blues forever and influenced hundreds of notable musicians and continues to do so to this day. He won a Grammy in 1990 for Best Historical Album. His song Crossroad Blues was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame 8 years later, and he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. He has been cited as an influence to artists like Mick Jagger, Fleetwood Mac, Bob Dylan, and Eric Clapton. He did all of this in a very short span of time, with a life that was as difficult as any. He overcame it all and persevered to become one of music's most important icons. It's very difficult to distinguish fact from fiction when it comes to this man. The historical inaccuracies, conspiracy theories, and sheer lack of any substantial documentation make his story a confusing one, but one thing is for certain: Robert Johnson was a legend.
What y'all say? Soul is sold to the devil? They say it was mysteriously poisoned. Pay attention. Pay attention. They say that a drink that the woman was given to Robert Johnson was slapped out of her hand by the man that she allegedly was dating or married to. And then he gave him a drink after everything was, calmed down. Like, this is a misunderstanding. My fault. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy you another drink or whatever like that. They always say don't take a drink from nobody unless you see that drink being poured out that bottle. Y'all ever heard that shit? Chillin', what up, girl? Fried chicken and potato salad tomorrow after church. Fried chicken and potato salad tomorrow after church. Y'all don't even know that. Fried chicken, potato salad tomorrow after church. Pound cake, lemon pound cake, red velvet cake. Big Dice be there for all that. But what y'all believe, though? Did Robert Johnson sell his soul because they said he was extremely bad? He was horrible. That's the word they gave it. Said it sounded like garbage. And they said he disappeared for like a year and a half, 2 years, allegedly going to seek out who his real father was, because remember, they said he was born out of wedlock. Then they say he went to the crossroads, met up with the devil, switched up that soul for that contract. It's the movie I showed you with Crossroads earlier, with Willie Brown and Ralph Macchio playing it with him. I don't know. I believe some relevance to that, because I'm telling you, man, everything about this world, we just don't know. Everything ain't to be known. But I know one thing. I don't believe in coincidence. Coincidence is an excuse for a sucker. My grandfather always told me that. Coincidence is an excuse for a sucker. Shout out to Jaffe. If y'all agree, let me know in the chat. Let's go. That shit is different. Let's go. That shit is different. Let's go. That nigga different too. Him and Waiter, like I said, that's all I'm listening to right now, y'all. That's all I'm listening to is Waiter and Joff. That's a fact. That's a fact. But I ain't, hold up. I'm fronting. Hold up, I'm fronting. Hold up. My fault. Forgive me. For the ladies, I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all want to know what y'all should be listening to for the summer, I'm going to tell you what you should be listening to for the summer. I promise you, I'm going to tell you what you should be listening to for the summer. I'm trying to tell you something. If you want to hear the truth, I'm going to let you know what you should be listening to for the summer. This is what you should be listening to for the summer. I ain't going to front. This shit right here is the summer vibe. Let's go.
Contradicted about some shit I knew was wrong but felt right. Met this young chick on 25th named Ice. Said she got a man. If she ain't happy, she ain't faithful. Scarf with her toes out, call her the sweet gangster. What? Nails painted white, 5'7" the height. So she live uptown, not too far from the heights. I was heading uptown myself, like with my dog. Asked Ice if she wanted a ride, I drop her off. Pulled up to the block in the truck, right in the front. Ice man standing there on the stoop, lighting the blunt. He ain't say much. She jumped out, then I slid off. You know me, I get fly, put that shit on. Couple minutes later, I was up in Ice DM. Straight to the point, like, what day is we linking? She said a man was bugging and wouldn't let her leave him. Look, that's what you get for fucking with these little niggas.
Just drop your pin and I'ma spin when you lonely. Don't overthink it, we just living in a moment. Know you ain't used to getting anything you wanted. Sneak link, keep it down. I get you 50, get you powder, get you CC. I'm making time to meet your needs, cause you need it. You just need some TLC when it's chilly. Sneak link, keep it down.
Little boys, kid games, put up on a big range. Said she never been for seats at a Knicks game. Big change, square off. Oh, you know my niggas from Manhattanville or Amsterdam. It's a small world, so what's up? Let me get your number, I can call you up. Leave a nigga that you with, come with me, I spoil you up. All you want, promise I can make your life easier. Said she was leaving him, didn't know she was G'ing me. Caught her at the Popeyes, right next to CNC. Walking with the nigga that she claimed she would leave for me. Jumped out immediately, slip about to crash out. You know I ain't even with that, cause if that nigga pull up on me in the streets, I'ma probably back out. But on the strength of you and that's your little man, I ain't gonna pull up and fuck up your little plans. But let them know never mind, yo, I need you to go. Take this dough up to 130. See, bro, get that. Come back with that. We can split that. Sit back. Pop bottle, forget that. You with that?
Just drop your pin and I'ma spin when you lonely. Don't overthink it, we just living in the moment. Know you ain't used to getting anything you wanted. Stay clean, keep you down. I get you 50, get you powder, get you CC. I'm making time to meet your needs, cause you need it. You just need some TLC when it's chilly. Stay clean, keep you down, I'm down. Lately things just fade away. You know who got my heart, don't let it MJ. Close my eyes and still you all I see. Keep it all, don't leave and fall for me. Lately things just fade away. You know who got my heart, don't let it MJ. Close my eyes and still you all I see. Keep it all, don't leave and fall for me.
You know what? That shit all changed between us.
That nigga Jeremiah look like he about 17 years old still. What the fuck that nigga doing, man? You know, a lot of them stars be, I don't know what the fuck them niggas be doing. Like that nigga from Keenan and I, that Bongo Burger shit, the nigga that's on Saturday Night Live, that nigga like he about 19 years old. He just gained weight. Shout out to everybody that pulled up in the building. I said I was going to do a quick one on Robert Johnson for y'all today. Because I was supposed to do it last night after I was watching the game, but I swear I fell asleep. I passed out, slept good. AC was on super cool. Make sure y'all set y'all bell notification. Your boy will probably be going live later on. No. 6:30 tonight. 6:30 p.m. Make sure y'all get over. Let me drop it in the link. Let me drop it. Let me get it. Let me drop it. I don't know if Art's still up. Matter of fact, that's where I want y'all to go. Go doom. Make sure I'm pulling. Make sure y'all drop this in right now because tonight is 6:30. Copy the link. It's in the chat right now, y'all. Make sure y'all get over to Artist Morrison. Like I said, I was honored to do the first Light Side Grown Folks Questions episode. Great response. Bunch of good people up in there. He asked some great questions. Like I said, tonight at 6:30 p.m., he got my favorite YouTube content creator up in the building. DS1 Ross the Boss. I'm in the building for this one. And then after that, he got King Crego popping up on Grown Side, Light Side Questions. I'm in the building for all of them. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Artist Morrison. Grown Folks, Light Side, Conversations. Woo! I know from what he did, the one we did, and the way people praised it and said that was like a smooth conversation. It was somebody that was in the chat that day. It's an Artist show. You can go look at it. It's in the chat, and you'll hear Artists say it. Can't remember the person's name, but shout out to whoever did it. They was like, this is the way I like to see artists rocking. I just subbed. Shout out to whoever that was that said that. If you go watch it, you'll hear him say it verbally, but you'll also see the person in the chat, and they said, this is the way I want to see Artist Morrison rocking because he got great content. You dig what I'm saying? But, you know, sometimes they got to go to Gladiator School on YouTube. So shout out to everybody that's going to the Gladiator Days. I've been there, done that. That shit is just not my persona. You dig what I'm saying? But make sure y'all go over there tonight because that ain't no dark side shit. That's just straight up grown folks conversation. 6:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern time. You dig what I'm saying? Because they're 3 hours behind us. So it's 6:30 for us. And y'all in the California, Vegas, it's going to be 3:30 for y'all. Make sure y'all get over to Artist Morrison. I just dropped the link. Light Side Grown Folks Questions featuring DS1 Ross the Boss, my favorite YouTube content creator. I say that adamantly. Shout out to everybody that pulled up today. Enjoy your day. Salute.
Another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? That's why it's knowledge, wisdom, instinct. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything exists has to coexist within. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me?